To find yourself alone in a deadly situation with no way out has to be a terrifying ordeal. And so, when fate steps in to save the day, it has to seem miraculous. Well, you're about to witness a young man caught in just such a life and death situation. And the miracle he experienced was also caught on videotape.
What'd you guys get today?
Couple rubber pintails.
Sweet. I was filming my brother and his friend who were hunting for duck and geese. As we were leaving to go home, we came across this dirt road that was washed out, and we found this younger guy standing on top of his Corvette in the middle of this raging water. What's your name?
The young man was Fred Hochberg, and his Corvette had been swept away in a flash flood.
We need one guy to go down here about 200 feet in case he does fall in.
There were a couple of other people that were at the scene who had just arrived, and one man had gone immediately to call rescue. My brother's gonna go down there. If you fall, try to make it to this side. I, at one point, ran down the banks of the stream behind where he was to just try and see if there was a safe place to maybe throw a rope to him. Every time I'd approach the bank, it would cave in, and the water was right up to the edge.
I want something to get some weight on it. That's all I'm...
Yeah, you gotta try like a log around there and throw it out above him and let it wash down to him. These two other guys threw him a garden hose.
Channel 7, baby.
I thought he was gone at that point. If he wasn't going to be able to hang out of that car, it was just going to sweep him downstream.
Fred's dip into the freezing waters only made matters worse. Hypothermia would quickly set in, numbing his body and making it even more difficult to hang on.
I knew that he was in a lot of trouble, and that we were going to need to do something, right then.
Hey, we're going to need you guys. All right, what do you need? Come here.
We put together a line from some rope and a harness that I had on my gun belt, and we attached it to a log so we could have some weight to throw it out there to him. After a couple of attempts, we finally got the log to him.
Stay on the car. Hold on tight. Hold on tight.
The rope was only a safety line, not strong enough to pull him to shore.
Hang in there, buddy. Almost out of there.
He kept telling him, "You're going to be out of there soon, you're going to be out of there soon," and it just kept taking longer and longer and longer, and he just kept getting colder and colder. And at one point, he curled up in a little ball, and I could see the steam rising off of his head, even through the camera.
Finally, members of the Riverside County Fire Department arrived on the scene. Engineer Martin Gill was part of the team.
We were discussing several options to the rescue. The first and safest choice was if we maneuver out to where he was trapped with the basket and get him off the roof of the car.
We put safety lines in place just in case the person was to fall off the vehicle before we got out to him. Once we got all of our safety lines in place, we set the aerial ladder up and went out to get him with a bucket.
One of their biggest fears was that the person would jump for the basket, miss, and end up in the water. And so once they got within voice contact range, they stopped, spoke with them, calmed them down, and explained to them what they were going to do.
But they said, "This is a drill, just do exactly what we say." And then as they got closer to me, they're like, "Okay, we're going to lock arms." I stood up and I was like, "No, I can't stand up." My legs were just, from being like that, I couldn't stand up. I'm like, "Here, hang on, just give me a minute."
As soon as he got his first foot up in there, I knew he was in, and that was a great relief. And I think everybody else felt it too.
The two duck hunters, they stayed with me the whole time.
Hey, guys. Hey, ready. Congratulations, man.
I mean, I don't know how to repay them or anything, but they were there.
And if they hadn't been there that early January morning, it's difficult to say what might have happened. But in the final analysis, it's clear that Fred Hochberg's life was touched by two very special guardian angels and a miracle.